on his podcast, Road Dogg made another asinine comment for engagement to stir people up. Actually, to be fair, it was his co-host that baited him into it, this guy, the Casio Kid. I watched the clip. Instead of just reading the transcript, I wanted to watch the actual segment, make sure no context was lost here. Road Dogg even said in the clip, like, oh, you're trying to get me in trouble, right? You want me to say something to get clicks. Yes, he does. This was in response to the question, is Road Dogg, or was Road Dogg, a better sports entertainer than MJF? And he took a long pause before answering the question. He said, I don't know, dude. He's great. He's a really great promo. He's not a great wrestler in my mind, but I wasn't even a good one, so I don't compare that. And then he said, the Road Dogg is a better sports entertainer than MJF. And that is no disrespect to MJF. I met the individual, very respectful young man, very smart young man, surpasses me in everything. I'm a better sports entertainer than MJF. Having said that, as a human being, I think the dude is a good dude. Now I'm confused. He admits that MJF, in his own words, surpasses him at everything. But Road Dogg is a better sports entertainer than MJF. Make it make sense. This is why chair shots to the head are now outlawed in WWE. Again, I don't put much stock into these things because it's very clear his co-host is just baiting him into these things for the traffic, but he did say something there that irked me. He said in his mind, MJF is not a great wrestler. And this is the dumb shit that he said about Bret Hart over a year ago when he called himself a better sports entertainer than Bret, which I think, honestly, that's a logical argument to make if you want to make that. I'm not saying that's a dumb shit comment. And I said then, he's been in the Vince McMahon bubble for too long if he thinks that pro wrestling and sports entertainment are two different things, because they're not. I mean, he talks about them like they're two different things, but, I think he's referring to the showman aspect. I assume, anyway, he's referring to the showman aspect of things. But again, I hear people sometimes say that like they're two totally different things. It's like the Spider-Man meme, where one is pointing at the other. They're the same fucking thing. But what I think he meant to say is that he was the better showman, or he's more charismatic than Bret, and I think that's a valid argument to make if you want to make it. But then in the same breath, he said he didn't think Bret was a great wrestler. And at that point, I knew if we were playing the shell game with people's brains, if you picked up one of the cups and found nothing underneath, that would be Road Dogg. He obviously hasn't seen many MJF matches and is only going based off of his promo work. Because I cannot see him making that comment if he was familiar with MJF's body of work in the ring, especially over the past year. I cannot see him making that comment with a straight face. Especially after the past year. MJF put that tired argument to bed once and for all. That, oh, he's a great promo, but he can't work. It's too bad he can't work, because he can talk. He's not a good wrestler. I would put his in-ring work up against anybody in WWE right now. Anyone. And WWE has some incredible wrestlers. He could hang with every single one of them. He hung with Bryan Danielson for 60 minutes. If you can hang with Bryan Danielson for over an hour and keep the fans engaged and get that man's endorsement afterwards, I'll take Bryan Danielson calling me a great wrestler over the Road Dogg saying I'm not. Now, there was some news on MJF this week. MJF lost his AEW World title at World's End. He did not appear on Dynamite Wednesday night. Adam Cole is the devil, and so he and his devil crew, him and Wardlow and Roddy and the Kingdom, they appeared. They had a promo segment. They were talking about how we're never going to see MJF again. And he has been removed from the AEW roster page, which is all just a work. I mean, that's just to play up the idea that he is no longer with the company. I don't believe that for a second. Meltzer had a medical update on MJF. He said from what he is told, MJF is either going to have rehab on his shoulder, which is the main injury that he's dealing with right now, but not the only one, or he may need surgery. And just judging from how severe the injury was, he may need that surgery, and surgery would put him out for quite a while, perhaps up to a year. And he is still debating which path to take. As an outsider, I say this, same thing I said about Kota Ibushi earlier in this episode. I think it is beyond stupid as somebody, especially in his case. Ibushi's 41, MJF is like 27. Okay, he's a young guy. He's got his whole career ahead of him. He's one of the biggest stars in the business. Whether he stays with AEW, if he goes to WWE, he's going to be a huge star. This is the sort of thing that you take care of it now. You take care of it now so you don't have any lingering issues. Yeah, I just remember when Nigel McGuinness, I think he tore both of his biceps when he was wrestling in Ring of Honor, and he didn't have the money to pay for the surgery. And when you have injuries like that and you don't repair them or repair them properly, in a lot of cases, you may never be the same again. You may be able to get by okay, maybe even pain-free or without too much pain, but there are just certain types of injuries where if you can just go under the knife, get it taken care of, be out for however long you need to be out for, and come back 100%, tip-top. I just don't understand why you wouldn't do that. I understand him not wanting to be out for an extended period of time because maybe in his mind, not just that he wants to go back, but that he feels he's letting Tony Khan down and Adam Cole down. They have this story, and now if he has to be out for 9 months or a year, he's screwed everything up. Everything got screwed up anyway when Adam Cole fucked up his ankle, and it wasn't his fault. It was a freak thing that happened, and they had to pivot and they had to adjust. If MJF has to be out for 9 to 12 months, they'll figure it out. They'll adjust. It's not as if they have a lack of talent on that roster. AEW will not fall apart if MJF needs to take a year off to heal himself. Now, I just don't want it to be a situation where he makes a decision based on that instead of what's in his best physical interest. And I'm sure whatever decision he makes, I think he'll make the right call. But if he has to be out, that's what you got to do. Get it fixed, get yourself back in 100% physical condition, and when he comes back, it'll be a very big deal. I don't see anything wrong with that. And if they want to play up the idea that he really is gone and work everybody into believing that he really is gone, the longer he stays out, the more they may be able to play that story up. Maybe people buy into it.